everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about the Dodge Viper, one of my favorite cars of all time. And it's been a very popular car for diecast collectors and whatnot. And one of the big exciting things coming into 2025 is that Hot Wheels is actually releasing a new version of the Gen 3 Viper. And you might remember this car. Obviously, it was from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. It's the one where Zachary Ty Bryan raced Lucas Black in the very first racing scene of that movie. It was his daddy's car, and he ended up totaling it out. But the interesting thing is Hot Wheels is completely redoing their older Viper designs. And it's a really good thing because for years, they've been questionable. We got a couple updates. I did a video before on them for their basic line. You might remember this is one of the, even though this isn't the earliest one, I've opened up, I got a whole ton of these early ones, all different styles, but this one right here is one of my favorites. It's basically kind of a mimic design of like what we've seen in 1997, but reversed. But this is just a Gen 1 Viper, and you can tell, if you look closely at the front, you can see that it's not very Viper-like. It almost looks like a cartoon version of the Viper. It doesn't have, like, look at how small the vents are in the top. Very basic details. Look at the back. Doesn't really match up. It doesn't have the turn signals. But this was the casting that came out in 1992 and ran even last year. And then it took Hot Wheels a while, but their recent team decided, hey, we're going to revamp that car and we're going to make it look even better. And then they came out with this. This is last year's first version of it. This is the RT-10. And obviously, look at that. Looks more realistic. It's got the right proportions. It's got the right size vents. Even the interior looks good. This one's got tempos on the back that match what the actual car would look like. And it uses Hot Wheels Basics 3-spoke wheels, which actually look almost like the original stock wheels. But you get this nice looking front, nice headlight tempos. The front looks right. I mean, you compare it to that, it's night and day difference. The car even sits lower. So that is cool. And then very late in the year, we were treated with a secondary color of that car in yellow. Now, what's weird about this one is they actually put Viper RT-10 on the side, but it didn't get any tempos in the back because, you know, you had to keep the car down to a $1.18 car. So using tempos, you basically, you know, cut down the cost for more graphics. So got to keep that $1.18 price. But nonetheless, it was a cool car, but it's not a premium. And I'm hoping that they'll come out with a premium. We do know that they're working on a coupe version of this car right now. So they're actually making a GTS coupe, a reversion of it, that's going to actually look pretty identical to this. So it's going to get the refresh. It's going to get the squatted front. And that's kind of funny because Hot Wheels, back in the early 2000s, had their 100 series. And this is what their GTS coupe looked like. So you got rubber wheels. You got an all-metal body. It's really heavy, and you got an opening hood to see the Viper V10. This one I absolutely love. This is kind of like, it reminds me a lot of the Team Orca kind of colors. Red, white, and blue. Obviously, like, you know, it's American colors, but that's the French flag too. And that's what they won Le Mans with. But look at the detail in this thing. This was back in 2002, and yet they kept that original model for so long. So kind of cool. I got a bunch of these ones. These are totally cool and hard to collect because they're so expensive now. Even if they're loose, you have to pay like 20 bucks for each one of these. So very cool if you're a Mopar or a Viper collector especially. And then what cracks me up is at that same time, Matchbox came out with this collector series Viper. This is a GTS. I have a couple of RT-10s. I should have pulled an RT-10 out, but this had so much detail. Had the vents. I mean, it has rubber tires. It's got adjustable suspension in it too. You can actually, it actually has adjustable suspension, so you can move it up and down. It looks really cool. The interior is cool. It's all different colored. You can see that the gauges are colored. Seat belts are colored. Has a 450 horsepower license plate on it. Just, that was a super casting. That was one of my favorite castings up until now when we were getting this new one. So for Viper collectors, there's all different types, but we're talking Matchbox Hot Wheels. So with this release, I was really excited. They built a whole bunch of Gen 3, like they built the GTS R concept car, which you can still get to this day in different, you know, different kits and stuff, and it just doesn't look good. So I was really impressed when they come out with a Viper finally in premium that, you know, looked as good as this. So again, 2003 Dodge Viper SRT-10, and it looks legit. Look, it has that mean look on the front. The card looks awesome. I picked up a couple of them just because, one, I wanted to open one and I wanted to put one away. But I want to open this one in front of you guys and show you what this car is like. So let's get to it. Again, I'm going to put one in the display. So, of course, I wanted to have an extra one. But let's see here. I mean, this thing looks killer. They did a really good job. Right off the bat, you can see, well, obviously it's not super detailed because of the gas cap there, but rubber tires, metal chassis, metal body, and the correct look in the front. And I love how the fog lights are done. This car is roughly $6 compared to a $1.18 car, and that's where you get your difference. Because look at the interior. It's got the actual head bars in it, the roll bars in the back. Like I said, taillight graphics, says Viper on the back, and it has mirrors. Very cool. Has the perfect hood on it. Indentions feel good. I'm really impressed. The rear diffusers actually sticks out. So this is actually a cool model. Really cool. And they did it. The funny thing is the tempos are like red, and it's very faint, but it's enough you can read it. So I really like this model. This is going to go good again with all the other Vipers I have in my collection. But you can see, look at the detail that the new cars have. New cars are doing really, really good with their design and stuff. So congratulations to Hot Wheels for realizing, like, hey, they needed to bring some more really good Mopars in. They've used the same castings forever. It's good to see some new castings. And their new headlight tempos are pretty good. They're kind of printed, so they're kind of flat. So that if you look straight on, they don't look right because you're not getting that 3D effect. But from an angle, it looks really good. Really good. So compared to like really expensive models, this thing is killer for $6. So if you get a chance, go to your local Walmart, Target, pretty much any store that sells Hot Wheels premiums. You can probably find these. This is probably going to be a popular casting with Viper owners and the Mopar collectors for sure. So anyway, stay tuned. We've got some other diecast videos coming. There's a lot of stuff that has been happening in the diecast world, especially for Mopars, that I want to talk about. But stay tuned. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.